and I think BYU steps into the limelight. I know I said Notre Dame's got a puncher's chance to win it all, but give me Bear Bachmeier, Kalani Sitake, I forgot the running back's name, LJ Martin, to beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish only because of Big 12 vibes, guys. I'm not saying that this is even remotely possible. I am just going with my gut and saying, please, Big 12, win a playoff game. So, as you guys see, I'm playing my hand a little bit. So let me go into a little bit of some teams that just missed out. Again, we're a Cyclones and Chiefs show, so there's not really going to be a lot of opportunities to talk about this. So I wanted to do it now because we have the opportunity to do so. If you guys have any thoughts or comments, obviously feel free to leave those, and we will go from there. I'm actually going to pull up the actual documents. Let's see here. There it is. And then you guys can still see me here so we can discuss it. So some teams that missed out. You obviously see a lot of the teams I have listed. You might already be getting a little bit heated already. I'm going to leave the comment section up actually because this should be a lot of fun. So some teams that missed out. So I think it's going to be chaos in college football this year. To be blunt, I don't think it's going to be this normal year. I mean, with Indiana already having a national championship, going undefeated, 16-0. I mean, who knows what could happen in college football this season. So some teams that missed. Are we ready? Because I'm about to drop some bombs, and it's about to get real hot in here with some hot takes for the college football season. One, Texas. One of the teams that is projected to win the title. I actually have them as the 10 seed, so let me back up a little bit. They barely made it in. That's why I referenced them before. The Alabama Crimson Tide. The Alabama Crimson Tide are not making the college football playoff. They're going to have 3 losses again. I don't think it's going to go very well for them whatsoever. Why would we think it would after what happened last season? It's going to be a train wreck. It's going to be an absolute train wreck. Another team that barely misses out is the national champions. I think that the Indiana Hoosiers barely miss out on the college football playoff. It's very tough to repeat. And I think that it is a very tough thing to go into a season and think that you can repeat. There's a lot going on with Indiana. Fernando Mendoza's gone. His little brother went to Georgia Tech. Not a lot to like there. And so I have Indiana barely missing out on the college football playoff. Michigan. So I got Indiana 9-3. Michigan also at 9-3. I have them barely missing out. Some other teams. It's going to be tough for the Big 12 to get 2 teams in. However, I've tried to make the case for it. I tried as best as I could to make the case for the Big 12 to make it into the playoff. More than one team, I should say. Couldn't do it. Texas Tech and Utah barely miss out. As well as the Big 12 runner-up, the Houston Cougars, one of my surprise teams of 2026. I think Houston is going to be really good this year. I think they're going to win on the road at Utah. I think they're going to win on the road at Texas Tech. I think it's going to be a very good season for the fighting Willie Fritz Houston Cougars as they go throughout the 2026 season. Some other teams that miss out. SMU. I think SMU had a great year last year. I think they'll have a great year this year. I don't think that they make the playoff. I got them going 9-3 as well. And then finally, the Louisville Cardinals. I think they're on the rise. Maybe in a couple years' time, they'll win the ACC, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that going on right now. I have the Louisville Cardinals barely missing the college football playoff as well. So with that, those are some teams that barely missed out. Now let's get into some teams that are actually going to make it into the 12-team field. Keep in mind, this is one of the last years of the 12-team field. Sounds like it's going to move to 16 teams very soon. So it becomes very interesting. Let's get right into it. The 5-12 matchup is the Oklahoma. I'm going to go through exactly what the playoff would look like. So that'll review the top 4 teams as we go into it. Okay? The 5-12 matchup. The Oklahoma Sooners. I got the Oklahoma Sooners 11-1. Let me pull up some records here that I put on my phone. I did the due diligence. I did the research. My Phil Steele magazine, I was marking that thing up. Like, I got some really, really in-depth analysis on all these teams. Oklahoma's going to go 11-1, but they are not going to win the SEC. If you watch Cyclone Central, our exclusive Iowa State podcast, we linked that in the show notes. Go check that out. It's our exclusive Iowa State podcast we put out Wednesdays and Saturdays. We talked all about this, and one of my hot takes is that a certain team that I'm going to mention later will win the SEC, but will lose their second round college football playoff matchup. Oklahoma will play the Boise State Broncos. They'll be the G5 team. I just think that's the most normal, I think, for this. I think that's the option that I would go with based on the limited knowledge that I have of the Big 12. The 5-tool matchup will be the Oklahoma Sooners and the Boise State Broncos. The 6 seed will be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now you say Notre Dame can only be as low as the 5 seed. Not this year. Not this year. I got Notre Dame 11-1, but Oklahoma will have a better resume than Notre Dame. They just will. Playing in the SEC. I know Notre Dame's got a tough schedule every single year. I don't think they miss out in the playoff this year. I think it goes a lot better for them. And I got the Notre Dame as the 6 seed. They will play, this is probably the shocker so far, the 11 seed Ohio State Buckeyes. That is right. I do not have Ohio State winning the Big Ten. I don't even have Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. I think Julian Sand is a very good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. He had some great stats last year. Can you back it up, young man? Because there's a lot of good quarterbacks in college football this year, a.k.a. one John Mateer of the Oklahoma Sooners. Again, those of you guys just joined it on live. We're live here every Tuesday and Friday, and we are mainly a Chiefs and Cyclones account, but we wanted to do our full college football predictions before we get into all Iowa State and Chiefs stuff the rest of the year. So I got Notre Dame playing Ohio State in the 6-11 matchup. Keep in mind, these are home playoff games for these teams. So it's at Oklahoma and Norman. It's in South Bend at Notre Dame. The 7 seed, the Ole Miss Rebels. I have Ole Miss as an at-large. I don't have them making the SEC championship. Some of your minds are spinning. Okay, Texas, you see there, they're not winning the SEC. Ole Miss isn't winning the SEC. Oklahoma's not winning the SEC. Georgia's not winning the SEC. Who is winning the SEC? You're going to find out. You're going to find out. But Ole Miss is playing Texas in a great SEC matchup. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. That game in Ole Miss, I believe they play earlier on that year. I was checking the schedules earlier on today. I don't know if they play that year, the same year that they will play in the playoff that I'm predicting. I don't think that's the case. But Ole Miss plays Texas. And then you have Georgia playing USC. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Georgia playing USC. For our audio audience, we're trying to link it on podcast soon and all the different stuff. But for now, we don't have the audio up, so we'll just have the video here. The 8-9 will be the Georgia Bulldogs, also an at-large, against the Big Ten runner-up, Big Ten championship runner-up team, the USC Trojans. So Georgia, USC, at Georgia in the 8-9 game. These are some banger first-round matchups, by the way. Like, just some banger first-round matchups, guys. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. Like, when you see the top 4 teams and what's going to happen potentially with those teams as well, the college football playoff is continuing to get better and better and better. I think people were worried last year how it was going to go. And, Alabama made it in and, this 3-loss team, blah, 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 blah. And then Miami stepped up. Ole Miss stepped up. Indiana won it all. Saved college football, at least for a season, at least for a time. And I think this also helps with it as well with these amazing first-round matchups. So Oklahoma against Boise State, Notre Dame against Ohio State, Ole Miss against Texas, Georgia against USC in the first round. Let's predict these games really quick, because we're giving our full college football playoff predictions. We're not just doing this for kicks and giggles. We are predicting the entire college football playoff and stamping it right here, right now. The Oklahoma Sooners will beat the Boise State Broncos. Okay, so I got Oklahoma winning, and they will play. I don't know if I want to scroll down yet because it's going to show the top 4. But I got Oklahoma winning. Okay, Notre Dame, Ohio State is a very interesting college football playoff game because Ohio State could easily win that game even at Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's one of those sneaky teams. They got a chip on their shoulder after being left out last year. I think they should have made it last year. They got left out instead. I think they should make it. I think they should be in the college football playoff, and I think they got a puncher's chance to win the college football playoff as well. Notre Dame beats Ohio State. Ohio State loses in the first round. What does that do for Ohio State and Ryan Day? Just saying. Ole Miss against Texas. This one is very tough to predict because both teams are so good. Give me Trinidad Chambliss to make plays, especially at home in front of the home crowd. Arch Manning, I think that moment's going to be too big for him. I got Ole Miss beating Texas. And then Georgia USC. Guys, Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat. He loses this game, he might be out of a job. Georgia loses this game, Kirby Smart's got the pedigree. Give me the USC Trojans to walk into Sanford Stadium, I believe it is, to walk into Athens, Georgia, and to knock off the Bulldogs to give this parity that is college football over the past few years. So Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Georgia advance. And so it begins. I have the big reveal. I have the Texas A&M Aggies winning the SEC and playing the Oklahoma Sooners in an old Big 12 matchup that they're now both in the SEC. I got the Oregon Ducks as the overall number 1 seed, undefeated, keep in mind, playing the USC Trojans, who they will have played earlier on in the year. The Miami Hurricanes will play the Ole Miss Rebels in a rematch of the College Football Playoff semifinal last year. And the BYU Cougars, the Big 12, stand up, bro. Stand up, Big 12. This is your moment. This is your time to make a statement. The BYU Cougars at 12-1 will win the Big 12, get a top 4 seed in the College Football Playoff, and they will play, I already forgot who it was, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, to keep in mind, these are the big New Year's 6 games. Okay, these are the New Year's 6 games now. So keep that in mind as we're continuing to go through this. The Oregon Ducks, I think they're going to have an awesome year. Dante Moore coming back to school spoke volumes to what this team is about. It spoke volumes to what everything that is going on with Oregon is great vibes. That sentence was terribly worded, but you get what I mean. Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks are doing their stuff, bro. Like, they are putting in work over there, and I believe the Oregon Ducks have a more than a puncher's chance to win this whole thing. Oregon and USC, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Miami, Ole Miss, BYU, Notre Dame. Let's start right at the top. I love Lincoln Riley. I love what he's doing at USC. I think he saves his job by winning that game against Georgia. I think it's a massive resume builder for USC and for the recruiting. But the Oregon Ducks and Dante Moore and Dan Lanning and all them boys, they put their money where their mouth is, and they say, not today. Even the New Year's 6 game where it's a neutral environment, Oregon moves on to play in the semifinals of the College Football Playoff, where they will play the winner of Texas A&M and Oklahoma. A good old Big 12. It makes a Cyclone fan's heart happy to see Texas A&M and Oklahoma playing in a big-time moment, even if they're both in the SEC now, even if they both left for more money, to bring back the Big 12 vibes, the Big 8 vibes, if you will. And I love Texas A&M, man. I love Marcel Reed. I love Mike Elko. I think they're doing awesome work in College Station. John Mateer's different. John Mateer's going to win the Heisman, guys. John Mateer is out for blood this year, as I worded it on Cyclone Central. He is out for blood this year to go take everything that was taken from him in Oklahoma last season. Being injured and gone, all those different games. Oklahoma in a New Year's 6 bowl. I don't know which ones are which, so forgive me for that. Oklahoma beats Texas A&M in the quarterfinal of the College Football Playoff. Then you got Miami and Ole Miss, a rematch from last year. Miami and Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss. You know, you got Mario Cristobal over there with Miami. Malachi Toney, one of the best players in the country. I really badly want to pick Ole Miss to get their get back, to get the revenge, to talk their talk and say, we got this year. I think Miami's too good. I think Miami's too good this year, and they move on to the semifinal, but that will be one of the games of the year, Miami Ole Miss. And then BYU Notre Dame. This game either puts the Big 12 on the map or it causes conversations about, is the Big 12 even a Power 4 football conference? Because you don't win this game, you don't beat Notre Dame, and it is a rough go of it. Not because Notre Dame is a bad team, but because this is your moment as the Big 12. And I think BYU steps into the limelight. I know I said Notre Dame's got a puncher's chance to win it all. But give me Bear Bachmeier, Kalani Sitake, I forgot the running back's name, LJ Martin, to beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish only because of Big 12 vibes, guys. I'm not saying that this is even remotely possible. I am just going with my gut and saying, please, Big 12, win a playoff game. Win a playoff game and get us somewhere where we can have conversations about the Big 12 being at the table with all the big boys. And being able to have conversations about what this conference means to college football. So I got Oregon going up against, let me just delete this because you guys have already seen it. I got Oregon playing Oklahoma. I got Miami playing BYU in the semifinal of the college football playoff. Who advances to the college football playoff championship? Who plays for a national title? Oregon, Oklahoma. I mean, Dante Moore, John Mateer, Brent Venables, Dan Lanning. I mean, the names are off the charts. The names are off the charts for this game. And the Heisman Trophy winner runs into a buzzsaw in the Oregon Ducks, who are ready to take everything this year. You see Dan Lanning videos. You've seen the edits of how fired up he is all the time after every game. Oregon Ducks are winning that game, bro. They're not losing to Oklahoma. They're not losing to anybody this year. Kind of maybe just showed my hand there. But Miami and BYU, we got the Big 12 playoff win. That's all that matters. Miami takes it to them in the semifinal. Oregon and Miami, top two seeds. I think that this is how it is all intended to be this year. And I got the Oregon Ducks and Dan Lane. I'm a big vibes guy. I love what Dan Lane's building. I love his heart. I love what he thinks about college football. I love that he wants to keep it pure. I love even the comments that he made last September about Charlie Kirk and how Charlie Kirk was an Oregon fan and how much he thinks there's so much going on in our country. I mean, that was just a really wholesome moment for Dan Lanning and really caused me to love him even more as a coach and as a person. And the Oregon Ducks are your national champions this year. Not Ohio State, not Notre Dame, not Texas. I got Oregon. Give me the Ducks to win it all.